Ever wondered what mysterious beings might be lurking in the swirling sands of a vast desert? These are the lands where the Jinn dwell, ancient supernatural beings from Arabian and Islamic mythology, known for their immense powers, shape-shifting abilities, and complex, often enigmatic natures. Existing in a world parallel to ours, Jinn have fascinated and terrified humans for centuries. It's important to note that the terms Jinn, Jinn, and Genie all refer to the same beings, though their interpretations and depictions can vary. A Jinn is the English transliteration of the Arabic word jinn, which is used in Islamic texts and Arabian folklore to describe these supernatural entities. The term genie is the anglicized version, popularized in Western cultures through literature, such as the Arabian Nights, and later in films and media. While genie often conjures images of wish-granting spirits, particularly in Western pop culture, it's essential to remember that the original concept of jinn is much more complex, encompassing beings with free will, capable of both good and evil. Jinn are some of the most versatile and enigmatic beings in mythology, known for their ability to assume a wide range of physical forms. Their appearances can vary greatly, depending on the context of the story and the particular type of jinn being described. In many tales, jinn are depicted as ethereal and smoke-like, with bodies that seem to be composed of swirling mist or fire. These forms often have a fluid, almost intangible quality, allowing jinn to move swiftly and silently, disappearing into thin air or merging with the shadows. Their eyes, often described as glowing or burning with an intense light, are one of their most striking features, capable of piercing the darkness and conveying their supernatural power. When jinn choose to manifest in a more solid form, they can appear as human-like figures, though usually with an otherworldly twist. They might take on the appearance of a tall, imposing figure, often with a regal bearing, wearing traditional Arabian garments that add to their mystique. Despite their human-like appearance, these forms are often marked by subtle but unsettling features, such as unnaturally long limbs, sharp features, or a faint, almost imperceptible aura of smoke or heat surrounding their bodies. In other stories, jinn are portrayed in more terrifying, monstrous forms, embodying their darker and more malevolent aspects. These forms can include hybrid creatures, combining elements of animals, demons, and humans, such as beings with the body of a serpent, the wings of a bat, or the claws of a predatory beast. Contrary to popular depictions in films like Aladdin, where jinn, or genies, are often shown with blue skin, traditional mythology does not attribute any specific color to them. These portrayals have shaped modern perceptions, but do not reflect the more complex and varied appearances found in the original tales. The jinn are beings of immense power and mystery. They are endowed with a range of extraordinary abilities that make them some of the most formidable entities in mythology. Their powers are vast and varied, often surpassing those of other supernatural creatures, and they are known for their complex, unpredictable nature. One of the most notable abilities of the jinn is their capacity for shape-shifting. This power allows them to transform into virtually any creature or object they desire, from animals like snakes, dogs, or birds, to inanimate objects such as stones or trees. The ability to change form is not merely physical. Jinn can also alter their voices, taking on the sounds of other beings to deceive or manipulate those around them. Invisibility is another key aspect of the jinn's abilities, allowing them to move unseen among humans and other beings. This power enables them to observe events without detection, influence situations from the shadows, and interact with the physical world in ways that are imperceptible to human senses. The ability to become invisible underscores the jinn's existence in a world that overlaps with our own, yet remains hidden from ordinary sight. Many jinn are also known for their ability to fly. This is often depicted in tales where jinn take on forms that naturally allow flight, such as birds or winged creatures. However, their flight is not limited to physical forms. Jinn can traverse the skies through sheer supernatural power, moving across vast distances in an instant. Physical strength is another characteristic that sets the jinn apart from other beings. They are often described as possessing immense strength, far surpassing that of humans. This strength allows them to perform feats that would be impossible for mortals, such as uprooting trees, moving mountains, or overpowering multiple opponents at once. In many stories, jinn use their strength to build or destroy structures. Their physical prowess is often depicted as being so great that only other supernatural beings, or humans wielding powerful magic, can challenge them. Fire is intrinsically linked to the jinn, as they are said to have been created from smokeless fire, according to Islamic tradition. This elemental connection grants them control over fire, allowing them to create, manipulate, and extinguish flames at will. Jinn can summon fire as a weapon, engulfing their enemies in flames, or use it to create barriers or signals. Their mastery over fire also extends to a resistance to its effects, making them impervious to burns or heat. One of the more sinister aspects of the jinn's abilities is their capacity to possess or influence humans. Jinn can enter a person's body or mind, taking control of their actions, thoughts, and even speech. This possession can be temporary, lasting only a short time, or it can persist for years, causing the affected individual to act in ways that are contrary to their nature. In some cases, jinn use this power to exact revenge, punish those who have wronged them, or fulfill their own desires. In addition to possession, jinn are also known for their ability to influence human behavior and emotions. They can instill fear, anger, or despair in those they target, or they can manipulate people into making decisions that serve the jinn's interests. This influence is often subtle, working through whispers, dreams, or sudden changes in mood, making it difficult for the victim to recognize the source of their turmoil. This ability to influence from within adds another layer to the jinn's complex and multifaceted nature, as they can subtly alter the course of human events without ever being seen. The jinn are also depicted as having a deep knowledge of magic, which they can use to cast spells, create illusions, or enchant objects. This magical prowess is sometimes passed on to humans, either through bargains or by teaching select individuals the secrets of their craft. However, dealing with jinn magic is considered dangerous, as it can backfire or lead to unintended consequences. Despite their vast powers, jinn are not invincible. While they are often considered immortal beings, they can be killed under certain circumstances, usually involving powerful magic, divine intervention, or specific rituals. For example, in some stories, jinn can be trapped or destroyed by binding them to objects, such as rings or lamps, or by reciting certain verses or prayers. Their longevity is another aspect of their mystique. Jinn are said to live for thousands of years, accumulating vast amounts of knowledge and experience. However, their long lives also make them susceptible to the corruption of power, leading some to become malevolent or vengeful. The jinn have deep roots in Arabian culture, with references to these supernatural beings appearing long before the advent of Islam. The earliest known mentions of jinn can be traced back to pre-Islamic Arabian folklore, around 1000 BCE to 600 CE, where they were believed to inhabit remote and desolate places, such as deserts, ruins, and the wilderness. With the rise of Islam in the 7th century, the concept of jinn was further developed and codified in the Quran, where they are mentioned numerous times. The Quran describes jinn as beings created by Allah from smokeless fire, distinct from both angels and humans. Unlike angels, jinn possess free will, allowing them to choose between good and evil, which gives them a dual nature. Some jinn are depicted as righteous and obedient to Allah, while others, like Iblis, who is the Islamic version of Satan, rebelled against divine authority and were cast out of heaven. In addition to the Quran, hadiths, which are sayings and actions of the Prophet Muhammad, also provide insights into the nature of jinn. These texts often recount encounters between the Prophet and various jinn, some of whom converted to Islam while others remained antagonistic. In many stories, jinn are portrayed as beings with immense knowledge and power, often sought out by humans for their wisdom or supernatural abilities. Kings and rulers in Arabian tales frequently attempt to summon jinn to gain insight, secure victories, or acquire treasures. However, these interactions are fraught with danger, as jinn are notoriously unpredictable and can turn against those who summon them if they feel disrespected or wronged. One well-known legend involves the Prophet Solomon, Suleiman in Islamic tradition, who is said to have had the ability to command jinn and other supernatural beings. According to these stories, Solomon was granted a special ring by Allah, which gave him dominion over the Jinn. He used their powers to build magnificent structures, control the winds, and enforce justice throughout his kingdom. This narrative highlights the Jinn's role as powerful but subservient beings when under divine authority, as well as the potential for humans to harness their abilities for good, provided they have the right tools and intentions. However, not all Jinn interactions in mythology are positive. In many tales, Jinn are depicted as tricksters or malevolent spirits who seek to deceive or harm humans. They are often associated with causing misfortunes, such as illness, madness, or death, and are believed to be responsible for leading travelers astray in the desert or causing accidents. The influence of Jinn in various cultures is evident through numerous tangible artifacts and architectural elements that have been created to either honor, depict, or protect against these beings. Across the Middle East and North Africa, amulets and talismans are commonly used to ward off malevolent Jinn or to seek their protection. These items, often inscribed with Quranic verses, symbols, or prayers, are worn or placed in homes to safeguard against the unseen dangers associated with Jinn. In addition to personal talismans, Jinn are also represented in the architectural elements of ancient and medieval structures. Carvings and inscriptions related to Jinn can be found on buildings, particularly those associated with religious or mystical purposes. For example, certain Islamic architectural elements, such as intricate stone carvings and geometric patterns, are believed to embody the power of divine protection, warding off evil Jinn and other malevolent spirits. Some ancient ruins in the Arabian Peninsula and North Africa are rumored to have been constructed by or with the help of Jinn. In the city of Petra, Jordan, there are rock carvings known as Jinn blocks, which are large cubical monuments believed by locals to be the homes of Jinn. These blocks are thought to protect the city and its inhabitants by serving as both a physical and spiritual barrier against evil forces. Similarly, in some parts of Morocco and Algeria, traditional Berber architecture features doorways and windows with specific designs meant to prevent Jinn from entering homes. The cultural influence of Jinn extends beyond the Islamic world. In the Indian subcontinent, for example, the belief in Jinn has been integrated into local practices and architecture. In some regions, shrines dedicated to Jinn, known as chilla, are built as places where people can seek help or make offerings to appease these powerful beings. These shrines are often located in secluded or natural areas, such as forests or near water bodies. The concept of Jinn is not monolithic. It varies significantly across different regions, with each culture interpreting and depicting these beings in ways that reflect their own local beliefs, folklore, and artistic styles. The Marid is one of the most powerful types of Jinn, often associated with water. In Arabian folklore, Marids are known for their immense strength and their connection to the sea. They are often depicted as large, imposing beings who dwell in the depths of the ocean or near coastal regions. Marids are considered to be the most difficult type of Jinn to summon or control, and they are often portrayed as proud and haughty, requiring significant offerings or rituals to gain their favor. In some tales, Marids are depicted as protectors of sailors or as guardians of hidden treasures beneath the sea, embodying both the dangers and the wealth of the ocean. The Ifrit is a type of Jinn associated with fire and is often depicted as malevolent or vengeful. Ifrits are typically portrayed as powerful and dangerous beings, with bodies made of smokeless fire. They are known for their fiery tempers and their ability to cause great destruction. In Islamic tradition, Ifrits are sometimes associated with the underworld or with locations where fire is prominent, such as volcanic regions or deserts. Ifrits are often depicted as the antagonists in stories, where they challenge heroes or seek revenge for past wrongs. However, like all Jinn, Ifrits possess free will, and some stories depict them as beings who can be persuaded to do good or to help humans under the right circumstances. The Jann are a type of Jinn associated with the desert. They are often considered to be the most benign and approachable of the Jinn, living in remote and desolate places like sand dunes and rocky outcrops. In pre-Islamic Arabian folklore, Jann were believed to be the original inhabitants of the earth, roaming the deserts long before humans appeared. They are seen as protectors of travelers, guiding them through the harsh desert landscape, but they can also be mischievous, leading those who disrespect the desert astray. Jann are often depicted as shapeshifters who take on the forms of animals commonly found in the desert, such as snakes, camels, or lizards. Their connection to the desert environment reflects their role as intermediaries between the human world and the untamed wilderness. Another variation of Jinn is the Ghul, often depicted as a monstrous, cannibalistic creature that preys on travelers and the unwary. Ghul are commonly associated with graveyards, ruins, and other desolate places where they are believed to dwell. In Arabian folklore, Ghul are often female and are known for their ability to lure travelers into danger by appearing as beautiful women or as lost souls in need of help. Once their victims are within reach, Ghul reveal their true, terrifying form and devour them. The concept of the Ghul has influenced many later horror stories and legends, particularly in Western culture, where it has become synonymous with grave-robbing monsters. Shayateen, often translated as devils or evil spirits, are another type of jinn that play a significant role in Islamic tradition. Unlike other jinn, shayateen are specifically associated with malevolence and are often seen as followers of Iblis, the Islamic equivalent of Satan. Shayateen are believed to tempt humans into sin and lead them away from righteousness. They are often depicted as whispering evil thoughts into the hearts of humans or causing discord and strife. Throughout history, numerous accounts in folklore describe sightings or encounters with jinn, particularly in regions such as the Middle East, North Africa, and South Asia. These stories have been passed down through generations, often growing in detail and significance, reflecting the deep-rooted belief in the existence of these supernatural beings. In the Middle East, one of the earliest recorded encounters with jinn comes from pre-Islamic Arabian folklore, where travelers and nomads would often report strange occurrences in the desert. These encounters typically involve sudden gusts of wind, eerie noises, or the appearance of shadowy figures in the distance, phenomena that were attributed to the presence of jinn. Bedouins, in particular, held strong beliefs in jinn, whom they thought inhabited the remote and desolate parts of the desert. Stories of jinn leading travelers astray, only for the unfortunate souls to never be seen again, were common. In North Africa, particularly in Morocco and Algeria, folklore is rich with tales of jinn sightings. One notable example is the story of the Aisha Kandisha, a female jinn believed to dwell in rivers and lakes. According to legend, Aisha Kandisha would appear to men as a beautiful woman, luring them to their doom by the water's edge. These stories were particularly prevalent in rural areas. Another historical account comes from the Ottoman Empire, where jinn were frequently mentioned in local stories and official records. In the 16th and 17th centuries, there were reports of jinn sightings in Istanbul, where they were believed to haunt certain parts of the city, particularly abandoned buildings and ancient ruins. The belief in jinn was so strong that some Ottoman sultans reportedly employed court magicians or scholars to protect the palace from jinn attacks. In South Asia, the Mughal emperors of India were also known to acknowledge the existence of jinn. Emperor Akbar, for instance, is said to have consulted with Sufi mystics and scholars about jinn-related matters, seeking to understand their nature and influence. The belief in jinn was not limited to the courts. It permeated all levels of society, with stories of jinn inhabiting trees, wells, and abandoned buildings becoming part of the region's rich oral tradition. In contemporary times, reports of jinn sightings and encounters continue, particularly in regions where belief in these entities remains strong. In the Middle East, especially in Saudi Arabia and Yemen, there are still frequent reports of jinn encounters. These often occur in remote areas, where locals claim to see mysterious figures or hear inexplicable sounds. For example, in 2009, a group of Saudi construction workers reportedly abandoned their work site after several workers claimed to have encountered jinn in a cave near the city of Medina. They described hearing whispers and seeing shadowy figures moving through the darkness, leading them to believe that the area was haunted by malevolent jinn. Such reports are not uncommon and are often taken seriously by the local population, who may seek the help of religious leaders or exorcists to deal with the situation. In North Africa, particularly in Morocco, belief in jinn remains pervasive, and modern sightings continue to be reported. In rural areas, it is not unusual to hear stories of jinn interfering in daily life, causing objects to move, animals to behave strangely, or people to fall ill. In some cases, entire families have reportedly abandoned their homes, claiming that they were being harassed or attacked by jinn. These accounts are often accompanied by efforts to cleanse the home or area using traditional rituals, prayers, and Quranic verses to drive away the supernatural presence. In South Asia, particularly in Pakistan and India, the belief in jinn is intertwined with local culture and religion, and sightings are still reported, especially in rural and tribal areas. In 2015, there was a widely reported case in Pakistan where a family claimed to be haunted by jinn after moving into a new house. They reported seeing figures in the shadows, hearing disembodied voices, and experiencing objects moving on their own. The family sought the help of a local religious leader who performed an exorcism to rid the house of the jinn. If you find the mysteries of the jinn fascinating, there are several other supernatural beings that capture the imagination with their unique traits and stories. Here are some related creatures you can explore. Angels are benevolent supernatural beings found in both Islamic and Christian traditions. Unlike jinn, who possess free will and can choose to do good or evil, angels are aligned strictly with divine will and are seen as messengers of God. In Islamic belief, angels are created from light and are completely obedient to Allah, carrying out His commands without question. They are involved in various aspects of human life, from recording deeds to delivering revelations to prophets. Notable angels in Islamic tradition include Jibril, who conveyed the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad, and Israfil, who will blow the trumpet to signal the Day of Judgment. In Christian tradition, angels are similarly depicted as messengers and servants of God, often acting as protectors and guides for humans. The hierarchy of angels, including archangels like Michael and Gabriel, plays a significant role in Christian theology. While both angels and jinn are supernatural beings with extraordinary powers, they occupy different roles within their respective religious frameworks. Angels are inherently good and serve as agents of divine will, whereas jinn, with their free will, can embody a broader range of moral alignments. Demons, found in various religious traditions, are often viewed as malevolent beings that oppose the forces of good and seek to corrupt or harm humans. In Christian tradition, demons are typically associated with fallen angels who rebelled against God and were cast out of heaven, with Satan being their leader. These demons are believed to tempt humans into sin, possess them, and cause various forms of suffering and chaos. In Islamic tradition, the concept of demons overlaps with that of shayateen, evil jinn, who follow the path of Iblis. Iblis, like other jinn, was created from smokeless fire, but refused to bow to Adam, resulting in his expulsion from paradise and his role as the tempter of mankind. Shayateen are seen as the primary forces of evil in the world, constantly working to lead humans astray from the path of righteousness. The comparison between jinn and demons highlights the complex nature of these beings. While both can be malevolent, jinn possess a level of moral ambiguity and free will that allows them to choose their actions, unlike demons, who are typically depicted as inherently evil. This distinction makes the jinn more versatile in their roles within mythology, capable of both helping and harming humans, depending on their nature and choices. The qareen is a unique concept within Islamic belief, referring to a personal jinn companion assigned to each individual at birth. The qareen is said to accompany a person throughout their life, whispering thoughts and influencing decisions, often encouraging them towards sinful or negative actions. However, it is also believed that through righteous living and strong faith, one can resist or even convert their qareen to a more positive influence. The idea of the qareen underscores the Islamic understanding of the constant struggle between good and evil that occurs within each individual. Unlike other jinn, who may interact with humans sporadically, the qareen is a constant presence, symbolizing the internal moral battle that every person faces. The qareen's role in Islamic tradition emphasizes the importance of self-discipline, spiritual strength, and the capacity for personal growth and redemption. The concept of the qareen also serves as a reminder that, while external forces may guide or tempt us, the ultimate responsibility for our actions lies within ourselves. So, there you have it, everything you need to know about the Jinn. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the world of Jinn and their fascinating lore. If you enjoyed this exploration into myths and legends, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And as always, stay curious and keep questioning.